I am here today to give you an example of how to engage with a child who is a little bit difficult to engage. Blanket on. Off. Blanket on. I'm waiting until he looks at me before putting it back on. Blanket on. This is the kind of thing that he would do normally if left to his own devices. He explores textures, he explores how things feel with his mouth and his fingers, but he doesn't purposefully interact with other people very often. Blanket on. Whoopsie. On. Off. Blanket. Blanket. So we have a whole bunch of exploration style equipment here in his special box. Blanket on. Off. Blanket blanket on. Off. Blanket. Blanket. That's an excited little run right there. Blanket. But I'm not going to do anything until he looks at my face. Which he did not do. Blanket. Blanket. With a lot of kids, too many interactions right in a row are just too much, and they need a little bit of time to space out and do their own thing for a while. So that's what we let happen. And while he's doing that, let me show you what is in his little sensory exploration box. We have all these balls that are scented. I don't know what flavor that is. This one is cinnamon. That's what he's carrying with him, by the way. He's carrying the cloves one. This one is lime, orange. We've got some interesting textures. This is felt bubble wrap. We've got boxes. He likes to open and close boxes. This one has 2 cinnamon sticks inside that came from this. A little treasure chest. His visual skills are a little bit tricky, so I picked some things that might help him to want to focus his gaze a little better. We have lavender, and then we have some of these chewy tubes, which are great because everything goes in his mouth, and these are an appropriate thing to have in there. We also have this brush, which has a great texture and can be used to do the brushing protocol for kids with sensory disorders, or it can just be really fun to play with because the texture is so neat. So the main idea behind working on engagement with a child who's difficult to engage is that whatever the child is interested in is what I'm doing. So previously, this little guy was just walking around and around and around the table, and I would step in the way, get at his level, so I'm on my knees. I would step in the way, and he would just turn around and go the other way. But I would prevent that with my hands around his little waist and help him tap me on the shoulder and say, "Move, please." Then I would get out of the way and let him go around and around and around and around the table some more until I decided it was time yet again to get in his way. And then I got in the way and said, and he would want to go the other way, and I would hold him right there and help him tap me on the shoulder and say, "Move, please." So I'm sort of inserting myself into his activity and making it more interactive than it otherwise would be. So there are a couple of examples of how you can work on engagement with a child who is a roamer, a child who just kind of wanders sort of aimlessly. You can still engage with a child even if he seems to be a bit aimless. It can be done, and there are a couple of tips. I will leave some more links down below that might help you as you work with a child who is similar to this, or if you have a child who kind of has some of these same traits, there will be many more ideas for you down below. Hope you have a great day. Bye.